Morning. It's a good spot, isn't it? Look at this place. Got the fog rolling in. See the birds? I never remember what these ones are called. The one on the stump right there, on the old mooring post. But we've got water birds for days, for all the morning. Lots of water birds. Here comes a pelican paddling in like an old paddle steamer. Bit of morning preening. Some gum nuts falling onto tin roofs over the other side. The majesty of pelicans never ceases to impress me. How they paddle along with their beaks just, millimeters from the water. There's that impressive sounding bird. There he goes. God, if only he sounded as graceful as he looks and flies. Ducks telling jokes in the background. Colours are starting to come through the fog, come through the morning mist. It's a bit of a painting right here, isn't it? Just having, reminiscence of, I don't know, I haven't read the book, but the name Storm Boy comes to mind when I see scenes like this. They're just so serene, so soft, and do you do photography? Are you into photography at all? I've only done a little bit. I've only taken 10,000 or 20,000 photos, 5.5 gig or something worth of pictures, so not too much, but you have soft focus. Soft focus is an option, and it gives you something like this. There's the crows, the ever-present crows over there. It's a nice bottle, this one. This came from my father-in-law. It's glass. It's called Flow Tea. Normally have a little strainer in the top here, and put your tea leaves, your loose tea leaves in. Beautiful. Ooh. Sorry, that was probably a bit loud. There's a tin lid after all. Got this nice neoprene sleeve. There you go, see, look at that. It's a double layered glass. So you can have boiling hot water in there and hold it barehanded. Well, I can feel the warmth even though it's double glazed. And then you can just slip the cover back on. Can't really tell at the moment, but there is an island just out there. It's called Honeymoon Island, I think. I've mentioned that in one of our previous meetings. I think we had Honeymoon Island. Is it there? I don't even know. Might be around the corner. It's quite possible it's just around the corner. I wonder what this little bird sitting right there on that post. I wonder what he thinks about. Looks like he's getting ready to fly. I don't know, a little bit more preening first. There he goes. Don't know much about this area. There were obviously Aboriginals who lived here. And they would have fished these waters. This is a nice big inlet. Nice and safe for fishing. Yields lots of good fish here. Snapper and I don't know. Lots of oysters. We sit same as the other rock that we met at last week. This is all granite. It's everywhere here. It's just like glass this morning. It's fantastic, isn't it? It does get quite windy here sometimes, and you really hear the water lapping quite strongly at the rocks and all around the edge here. Obviously people come here and fish. There's a good spot down there. It's a bit of a rocky outcrop. And you can get right into the water from over there. cast nice and deep. I have kayaked some of this water, not very much, around the corner there, a kilometre or so. It's very shallow actually for most of this, not all of it. Where you can fish is obviously has more depth to it, but quite a lot of this is waist deep for a while, and then I think it only gets 2 metres or so, 3 metres deep maybe out here. Little fish rising. What? I have been, yes, I've been working this week. I've started a new job. I'm always starting a new job though, because I do carpentry and we work on site, so we're quite often in a new place all the time. But, I was on a farm this week. This week just gone. Got a couple of dogs, 3. It's more than a couple, isn't it? And the dogs are, there's a brown Labrador who only swims and eats and sleeps. If he's not doing one of those 2 things, he just has a look of misery on his face. The other 2 are playing on the balcony, and the Labrador was just sitting at the glass door staring inside at the owner preparing some food in the kitchen, and he just looked so miserable. It was a very funny thing to see. 2 dogs behind him having the time of their life, and he was just unhappy. The other dog is a border collie. I love border collies. This is the first dog that I ever knew. Our first family dog was a border collie, Marlowe. Oh, that's an attractive sounding bird. And so yeah, I have an affinity for border collies. They're just a great temperament, you know. And the third dog they had there is a little black lab. Must only be 10 weeks, 15 weeks old. Named Plum. She named the little girl Plum. While we're working, Plum would come past every so often, all clumsy with their, puppies. How puppies are with their big feet and long legs and little bodies, and they don't know anything. They clumsily come up and trip over their feet, bump their head on everything, all while wagging their tail. They're not like human children who bump their head and just have to stop and analyse what happened and have a little cry. Some of them. Dogs don't do that. They just bump their heads and continue on, and then bump their head again, and it's quite comical to watch. Yeah, Plum's just adorable. Makes me want a little puppy. I haven't got any fences at my house though, so having a puppy is very difficult. ducks racing each other. Their heads going back and forward like this. If I ever got reincarnated, I think I'd like to be reincarnated as a duck. They just look like they have so much fun, you know? They can swim, they can fly, they can walk. What more do you want? I don't want to be born as a duck anywhere where they have duck hunting seasons, though, of course. That wouldn't be as cool. But if I could be a duck here, I'd take it. These rocks have lots of little puddles. Puddles where leaves fall into and break down and provide habitat for bacteria that smell. Right now my advice is don't stir those puddles up. There's a little bit of smell associated with it. There's the downside of a nice big body of water. A downside is that somebody can start a boat engine 5 kilometres away and the sound just travels across the water. Makes it sound like they're only 200 metres away. I hope that sound, that engine revving doesn't ruin this experience for you. Hopefully you like the sound of 2-stroke engines revving. But there is a strip of land over that side of the inlet, and there are a handful of houses dotted around. So obviously they have to. There's a road. There's a long road that goes all the way around the inlet, but I imagine there's quite a convenience in having a boat if you live over there, so that you can just nip across the inlet. Oh, you've got to have a look at this. I've brought this for you today. No, it's not a piece of wood. Not today. Brought this beautiful. I'll bring it up closer to you so you can see. See that? Can you see that? It's all see-through. Isn't that cool? That's the lid. This is my it's like a little jewellery box type of thing. It's made out of resin and super glue. Yeah, there's a bit of a story to that. No, it's made in Vietnam, the sticker on the bottom says. You can hear that it's a It's a hard resiny plastic made in a mould, hand carved mould, no doubt, with dragons, some dragons on the front. 1, 2, 3, 4. Impressive facial features, actual claws for legs, and I was given that as a gift. Somebody on Marketplace actually was giving it away. There's the sun rising from behind the mist. Is it blinding you? I hope it's okay there, that you're looking into the sun. Yeah, I had this in the bedroom on the dressing table, and it got bumped and dropped to the floor and smashed. And when I got home from work, I wondered where it was. I found it in a plastic bag in the bin in 100 pieces. So I pulled it out of the bin and spent the next couple of hours like a jigsaw puzzle, super gluing it all back together. There he is, back on his post. Some further preening to do. I think the world is starting to wake up. They're getting their I can hear the ocean now. People are walking their dogs. The birds are becoming more active. Puppies playing in the water. There he goes, off to find his morning meal, get some breakfast. I wouldn't mind some breakfast. Have you had breakfast? brought something in my backpack. Let me just have a look. I thought I brought something in my backpack. Oh yes, there it is. Would you like a muesli bar? Oh, you've already eaten. Lucky you. That was smart. I should have eaten before I came out here as well. Have you ever heard of opening dyslexia? I have it, I think. I'm not sure if it's a diagnosable thing or not. But it's where you have difficulty opening packets of things, be it milk cartons or cereal packets, muesli bar wrappers, and I just make a complete hash of it all the time. I just absolutely mangle cereal boxes and you know those milk containers where you have to peel back the tongues and then pull it out. Just nuts. The muesli bar, that is, it's just only nuts. I never buy the ones that have fruit in them. You know how the fruit is dried using sulfur rather than natural means. Dehydrator or something, I think. It must take too long, and so a lot of dried fruits anyway that contain sulfur, so I don't really want to sit there and decipher which ones do and which ones don't, so I just always buy the fruit-free muesli bars and fruit-free breakfast cereals and all those sorts of things. I'm told sulfur, the sulfites in the dried fruit, I'm told it's not particularly healthy, but I don't know. I'm sure lots of things aren't healthy. Now the sun's really starting to rise above the clouds here, above the mist. You've got to see just over the other side, just to your left or right. Hang on, I'll move your chair around. have a look at that. Isn't that something? I need to get the microphone. Yeah. I'll sit over this side. But I can see why the European painters used to like to come over here and get their painting on. Because that looks like, well, discount the water. Apart from the water, that looks like a, I don't know, perhaps a Frederick McCubbin or another famous Australian painter from the late 1800s who I don't know the name of. It's just see the plethora of bird life just out here. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Oh, there's 20. Must be 30 ducks out there. A handful of pelicans. Sorry, I don't mean to choose your seating position for you, but it's getting pretty nice. Or I should sit on the other side so you can see all the birds. And maybe the sunrise reflecting off the water. I don't think it comes up so well for you in this. I've got to get better glasses for you. If only I recorded this in 4K. But yeah, oh, I can already feel the warmth in the sun. I'm going to have to go soon. I do have a slightly busy day for a Sunday. Got to do the obligatory food shopping for the week and just very relaxing things. You know, I'm gonna. What else? I'll water the garden. Maybe wash the car. I don't know. I'll see. But I was out here for one of the two most beautiful. We were out here for one of the two most beautiful times of day, which is really important. going to go for a little walk and be back in a moment. Just want to have a look down there, over at that bit of water. There's not much evidence of fishing here. There's a couple of bird feathers, so the birds have been fishing. The problem here is that the inlet is most of the year closed off to the open ocean, so the water becomes a little stagnant, and with that there's an algae that grows. Gives that off seaweed kind of smell. And therefore it's also not fabulous for swimming here, which is really unfortunate. I would like to be able to walk down here of a morning and just go for a little dip. But I'll just settle for having a body of water so close. You can still kayak and go fishing if that's your thing. What's that? Where you at? Oh, you're going to leave first this time, are you? It's fair. I'm going to sit here for a while and just watch the birds. You can see Honeymoon Island starting to come into view now. Yeah, that's nice. Hey, look. It was, thanks for coming out here. It's good to see you again. Ibis, affectionately known as the bin chicken. Sorry, yeah, it was nice to see you again. I think next week we should. What do you think about meeting in the forest next week? Yeah, I've got a good spot. I'm thinking of going. I haven't been there before. It's a little forest walk. It's about 1.8 kilometres or so. There's supposedly some nice views back after the return of the loop. There's some nice views of the valley. I don't know. It's just what I've read. It's not far out of town here. It's maybe 10, no, a bit more from here. Maybe 15 kilometres from here, inland. This is a logging town originally. That's why it exists. And that forest that we should go to next week, perhaps. That forest was completely logged of all timber in the late 1800s. So there's no trees there that are more than, whatever that might be, 130 years old, 135 years old. But they're all, it's a carry forest. So we should go and have a look there. It's really quite nice. I would guess that there will be quite a few birds and peacefulness at least. Yeah, okay, cool. That sounds good. Alright, I'll see you there. Alright. Hey, have a good week. Have a good week.